Hello, this is just an extra video for Unit 1. This would be something that was not covered in class, or there was no time to cover in class. And like I told you guys, if you're watching this, it's because you want to watch it. You don't have to be watching this. This is just, again, what was not covered in class. And as you can see, there's no video image of me. This is just my voice. All right, so it's not very long, but here we go. Yeah, here we go again. All right, so one of the things we didn't cover in class was the reading. So this would be on page 7. So before you read, skim, just quickly look. It should not take you more than a minute to just quickly skim, and then look for something that might help you to find out what he likes to do in his free time. And yeah, but I'll let you, again, please do not read this, just skim it quickly, but pause the video for as long as you need to skim it. Okay, so you've skimmed it and you think you know what he likes to do in his free time. Let's find out. Oh, sorry. Okay, he watches movies, he goes to the gym. To relax, he watches the sharks, the sea turtles, the fish that swim around the rig. Now, what is the rig? Right, this would be his rig. So now we're going to get into the reading, because you're going to be answering these questions here. In the first part, is the sentence true? If it's not true, make it true. All right, so actually you can just read along with me. All right, Krisada Atakor, I guess, is an engineer and he loves his job. He is one of 340 people who live and work on an oil rig in the Gulf of Thailand. Space is limited. He shares his 16 by 16 meter bedroom with another engineer, but he isn't complaining. Life is very comfortable on the rig, he says. We don't have to do our own cleaning or cooking. Our cafeteria serves the most marvelous food from early in the morning until late at night. Located 200 kilometers offshore, the rig pumps natural gas and gas from under the sea and stores it before it goes to customers on shore. After Krisada graduated from Bangkok Technical College, he attended a special training course for work on the oil rig. Now he says there is nowhere he would rather work. Life is never boring at sea, he told the Asian Business Online. We work long shifts, sometimes up to 12 hours, but after work, there's a movie theater and a gym where we can work out. And to relax, I watch the sharks, sea turtles, and different kinds of fish that swim under and around the rig. In the past, distance from friends and family was a problem for people who worked offshore. But since the introduction of fiber optics, there is now a good internet connection, so everyone can enjoy Skyping and social networking. Another advantage of my workplace, says Krisada, is that I never get stuck in traffic on the way to my job. I just jump out of bed, cross the deck, and I'm at work. All right. Now you can, of course, you have your book, so you can look on page 7 for this. Just think of this as true, false. So if it's not correct, if it's false, correct it. All right, so go ahead and read these sentences. Look in your book to see if it's true or not true. And if it's not true, correct it. But of course, pause the video for as long as you need now. Okay, so you now have corrected the sentences that you think are not true. Let's find out. Quesada has his own room on the oil rig. Not correct. He shares a room with another engineer. The workers have to clean their own rooms. Not correct. The workers do not have to do their own cooking or cleaning. Now, if you wrote the workers do not have to clean their own rooms, that's fine. Number 3 is not correct. Quesada trained to work on the oil rig while he was at technical college. No, he went to technical college and then he had to do extra training. So Quesada attended a special training course after he graduated from technical college. All right, number 4, Quesada sometimes gets bored on the oil rig. Okay, not correct. Life is never boring at sea, or Quesada never gets bored on the oil rig. It is impossible to work out when you live on the oil rig. Not true. There's a gym. So as long as you wrote something like that, it's possible to work out on when you live on the oil rig because there's a gym. Okay, the sharks around the oil rig make Quesada feel nervous. Not correct. You could have written the sharks around the oil rig do not make Quesada feel nervous, or he can relax when he watches the sharks. And then I wrote all the other stuff. Number 7, it is no longer a problem for workers on the oil rig to keep in touch with their families. This is correct. So there you go. I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to take a screenshot now. Okay, the last part would be, okay, now we're not in a class and you're not going to be in your groups. This is just something for you guys to think about. And if you write this down and you want me to correct it, I can. You don't have to, just something for you to think about. Would you like to work on an offshore oil rig? And then, yes, I would, because no, I wouldn't. Again, this is just something for you to think about. Oh yeah, it's on page 7, so you can look in your book. Now, here we have the culture. This is the culture of time, right? The right time. So we're gonna talk. I'm going to read. You're going to read along. How different countries see time, right? So Indonesia, Japan, Malaysia, Northern Europe, Southern Europe, the Philippines. All right, no skimming here. I'm just going to start. Indonesia, jam karet means rubber time, which means people can be flexible with time. Deadlines are not always taken seriously. If you want a meeting to begin at 9:30, it's best to invite for 9 o'clock. And don't get too upset if some people still show up at 9:45. Japan. Both in business and in private life, Japanese people often arrive early. The Japanese are very punctual about arriving at work as well as about starting meetings, but not about finishing them. So by the way, punctual means on time. Meetings often go on until a senior person decides the meeting is over. It might seem impolite to the group if you are the first person to leave. Malaysia. People generally are not very punctual. It is normal to be late for a meeting or appointment. The usual excuse is the traffic jams. Kuala Lumpur is a big city and there are always traffic problems. Northern Europe. Northern Europeans are usually very punctual in the business and in private activities. Especially in Germany and Finland, it is important to be on time. Germans expect meetings to start on time, but they also expect them to finish on time. Southern Europe. People in Southern European countries such as Spain and Italy are more relaxed about punctuality than Northern Europeans. But even here in business, it is unacceptable to keep people waiting for more than 20 minutes. The Philippines. It is common for private activities not to start on time. In fact, it is impolite to arrive at social events exactly on time. You are still on time if you come an hour late, but it is different in business, where punctuality makes a good impression. Okay. Now, looking at this, where, right? In which country? Do they, is it, are they, and so on. So you would write the country or countries here. And as usual, pause the video for as long as you need now. Okay, welcome back. If you are listening to this, it means you are ready to check your answers. Now, I'm going to start with in which country, but after number 2 or number 3, I'm just going to read the question. That's it. In which country do they expect to start and finish meetings punctually on time? Germany. In which country is it impolite to be the first person to leave a meeting? Japan. Are they flexible with time in private, but not in business? The Philippines, Italy, Spain. They often blame the traffic when they are late. Malaysia. You should never arrive earlier than the given time. The Philippines. It is acceptable to arrive earlier than the given time. Japan. It is normal to be late for a meeting. Malaysia. They do not take deadlines seriously. Indonesia. All right, 10 seconds. If you need to take a screenshot, now. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so now we're going to listen to an audio of 5 business people talking about time, right? And complete the sentence about what each person did wrong and why it was wrong and why it happened. All right, you only see number 1 and 2 here, but as you listen, please listen for numbers 1 to 5. So there are 5 of these, as you can see on page 8 in your book. All right, so the first one does say that, Isamu Takahashi from Japan arrived for an appointment with his German teacher. It continues. Let's listen.
3. I'm Isamu Takahashi from Tokyo. I'm studying English and German at college. One day, my German teacher invited some of her students to her home for coffee at 3 p.m. I went there with 2 other students at 2:30 and rang the doorbell. We waited for a few minutes before our teacher opened the door. She looked uncomfortable, and we thought at first she wasn't going to ask us in.
Hi, I'm Katja Falkenberg from Berlin in Germany. Last week, we had a meeting with some Japanese business people. It was scheduled for 2 p.m. Our meetings usually last for 2 hours. The visitors arrived punctually, we started on time, and by 4 p.m. we had discussed all the important business. Then I had to leave because I had to pick up my daughter. I explained this to the Japanese visitors, excused myself, and left. The visitors looked shocked.
I'm Nick Brown from England. I was working in Naples in southern Italy last month. Now, people in Italy are really relaxed about time, especially in the south. People and trains and buses always arrive late. Well, one morning I had an appointment with an Italian customer. The appointment was for 10 o'clock. Somehow I got the time wrong, and I didn't arrive at the office until 10:30. At first, I thought it would be no problem, but the customer had left, and I didn't get the order.
Hello, my name is Anina Fisk, and I'm from Finland. I was working for a Finnish company in the Philippines a few months ago. Some of our Filipino colleagues invited us to a party one evening. They said it would start at 7 o'clock. So we arrived there at 7. That's what we would do in Finland. But nothing was ready. We sat in silence while the hosts finished preparing the food.
My name is Philip de Wolf. I'm from the Netherlands and I work in Indonesia. I had to learn a lot about the way the Indonesians look at time. When I arrived, I knew nothing about jam karet or rubber time. During the first few days, I called a meeting for 9:30 one morning. Nobody showed up until 10 o'clock, and some of them came even later. I was really angry, but they didn't understand why.
All right, so you've listened to all 5. You can go back, because this is a video, and you can listen again. All right, so you know what I'm going to say. Please pause the video for as long as you need now. Okay, welcome back. So you have unpaused the video and you are ready to check your answers. So, as I said, they arrived at the appointment. It was wrong because the Germans are punctual. In Japan, people often arrive early. Katja Falkenberg from Germany wanted to leave a meeting with Japanese business people because she had to pick up her daughter. It was wrong because in Japan, it might seem impolite or rude if you are the first person to leave. Or a senior person must decide that the meeting is over. So when you see the /, it just means or. As long as you had one of those, you would be fine. Okay, this time 5 seconds to take a screenshot. All right, let's move on to number 3. Nick Brown from England was late for a meeting with an Italian customer. It was wrong because in Southern Europe, it is unacceptable to keep people waiting more than 20 minutes. Remember, he said he was about 30 minutes late. Okay, number 4. Her Filipino colleagues told Anina Fisk from Finland that their party would start at 7 o'clock. So she arrived at 7 o'clock, or she arrived on time. It was wrong because in the Philippines, it is impolite or rude to arrive at social events exactly on time. And number 5, when Philip de Wolf from the Netherlands worked in Indonesia, he called a meeting for 9:30 one morning, but nobody showed up until 10 o'clock. And he said some people actually showed up later. Philip was angry, but that was wrong because people in Indonesia can be flexible with time. Remember, they have that word that means rubber time. Okay, 5 seconds. If you need to take a screenshot, take your screenshot now. Okay. That's it. That's all, folks. I hope that this helped. Yeah, that's it. I don't know when you're watching this, so all I can say is either A, don't forget to watch the video for the next unit, or B, I'll see you in Zoom. Okay, bye.